Hey everybody. Well, it certainly has been a while since I've made a video on the 8-inch traffic light here in the room. And nothing's wrong with it. It's still working beautifully, like you see in many of my videos of me in front of the computer. And one of the things I remembered was back in 2017, I think around September of that year, I had talked about possibly getting spare bulbs for this traffic light. And I remember that Harley Badger had mentioned a website for me to check out. And here we are almost 4 years later, and I finally did check it out. And so basically, all the lights in here are still working great. I've had this light since 2012 now, almost, going on almost 9 years. It'd be 9 years in September. And, for the amount of time I've had this light, the three original bulbs, since I've had the light, they're still working great. And I thought maybe I'd show you finally what I did to get spare bulbs for this, because, well, first let me go ahead and show you the insides again. So right now, I'll show these two compartments for now, and you'll see why later. So right now, the current bulbs in here, for those of you who may be new, are the Sylvania brand 69 watt, and I think that 640 lumens. I think that's what it's saying. I can't really show it to you on the camera, but they're clear bulb, incandescent, and I was looking for spare bulbs because, in all seriousness, when you have a traffic light like this, you have to keep it incandescent. You cannot change these to LED bulbs. When you have an incandescent traffic light, of all things, it needs to stay that way. And so yeah, I mean, this was on Larkfield Road originally before the sets were replaced in 2011. No, I'm sorry, to 2012. And I wanted to get it, and I got it back then. And one of the things you can tell is this light used to face the side street. So as you know, most side streets tend to have a red light for a lot longer than a green light. And the way I can show that to you is if you notice the gaskets on each lens here, like for example, see how this is nice and flexible? Same thing with this one. When you go to the red one, it's a lot harder to move, just because of natural from the heat on the bulb over the years. And one of the things I did do was I was telling Jay that I was going to get new incandescent bulbs for this. And one thing he suggested to do was to maybe alternate the bulbs because of how long they've been used. So what I did was I switched the yellow and the red bulbs. And if I look carefully at the filaments, I think that you could see there's a little bit more use on that because, I mean, being from the side street, the red light is going to be on a significant amount more than the yellow and the green. So that was definitely a good idea to switch them around. And let's go ahead and let me show you the replacement bulbs that I got for it. And here they are right here. So I decided to get 6 of them, which I think is a pretty safe amount to do, and I'll explain why. These are the Philips brands, clear bulbs, incandescent, and the only difference is these bulbs are 67 watt as opposed to 69. I can show you right here. The glass is a little dirty, but I can always clean that. Let me see if it'll focus on that. Not really. Well, maybe. Let's see. You can kind of read it. 67 watt Philips and 610 lumens. So yeah, the wattage and the lumens are just a tad lower than the other bulbs, but in all honesty, I really don't think you're gonna notice a difference. And yeah, you can see and I'll explain that in a bit too. You can see the other bulbs right here, all clear. This one just has one because the one I have is right there. So, and one of the things Jay told me too, which does make a lot of sense, is as you know, every bulb you have over time, even though it may not be noticeable until a long time, they get a little bit dimmer. So since these lights have been in here these bulbs have been in here for who knows how long, up 9+ years obviously by this point, probably the replacement bulbs aren't really going to be much different. So, and I also did a test where I have the circuit board set right now to do the alternate flash of the yellow and the red. And from what I can see in person, I'll show it to you right now. The camera's not really going to pick up anything, but you'll see what I mean. So, as you can see here, let me turn off this one lamp right here. You're not going to see much in the camera, but from what I can see here, I see pretty much no difference in brightness compared to, this bulb and that bulb, because that used to be in the red, I told you, when I alternated them. And from what I can see, honestly, there's really no difference. So I'm very happy to see that. And, it's good that they can stay consistent that way and consistent that way. Is that the right word? Well, whatever. So I'm happy to see that the original bulbs still tend to have the same brightness, even after with the age that they are. And you can kind of see that. That's kind of cool. And wrong switch. In all honesty, I really don't think you're going to notice much of a difference anyway, because the colors themselves tend to, have a different effect on how bright or how dim the light is, just because, yellow is the brightest color, red's probably the dimmest, and green's in the middle. So it's kind of one of the reasons why you're not really going to notice that much of a difference between the new one, the more on one and the less on one, however you want to say that. Let me go ahead and take one of these bulbs down and just show you a comparison of the current one and the replacement. So here's the comparisons right here, as you can see. Aside from the glass being a little bit cleaner, you can see that the current bulbs are just like ever so slightly longer than the replacement ones. But aside from that, there's really not much you're going to notice in terms of size differences when they're in the light, and then you're not going to see them anyway because the lens will be in front of it. So one of the things I wanted to see was, when I compare this one to the current one, Do 2 watts really make that much of a difference? And honestly, I didn't see anything from earlier. But let me go ahead and put this one in there and just show you, just for video purposes, I guess, you can see exactly how it looks. And there it is installed in the yellow light compartment. So it's going to alternate between that one and this one. And again, on the video you're not going to see much, but maybe you'll be able to see the on and off transition of both, and they're pretty much identical. So let me go ahead and plug this back in. And if you look, I'll turn this lamp off again. And if you look very carefully at it, again, there's really no difference. It still has a nice soft on and off transition. As you can see, how the filament glow fades away as it turns off. It is pretty much identical as far as I can see. And in terms of brightness, as I'm seeing in person, again, no difference. And regardless, like I said, the colors will make their own brightness as it is. So really, I think I'm very happy with the purchase of these bulbs. I think they're going to be fantastic for it. So all in all, I think this light will be good for a very long time to come, because one of the reasons why I got 6 bulbs, as you saw, was I was thinking, how long are the bulbs lasting and things like that. So like I said, I've had this light now for just about 9 years, and the 3 original bulbs are still working. And probably for the reason that is because, for one thing, this light gets used a fraction of the amount of time that it did when it was on the road. So it's not on anywhere near as much. So that certainly helps the longevity of the bulbs. And also, a thing to consider is this light isn't exposed to weather anymore. So it's in a much more temperature controlled environment compared to it being 90 plus in the summer and possibly close to 0 in the winter sometimes. So I think the more steady temperatures of inside the house will definitely help the bulb's longevity in that regard. So if I've had these 3 bulbs for 9 years now and they're still working, all things considered, I think if under the same conditions, these bulbs will hopefully go for just as long. And if not, I'm sure for a while at least I can still get some new ones. But I think with 6 bulbs and the original 3 still working after 9 years, I think I'm set for a while. Anyway, there you go, guys. A little sort of update video on the light, I guess, if you want to call it that, and just the fact that you got another light. Oh my gosh! Just the fact that you got another video on the light, I'm sure you guys enjoy. And yeah, so like I said, almost 9 years now I've had it, still working great. Happy to have it, and I'm sure you guys like seeing it in the video sometimes. So there you go. Thank you very much for watching, and take care.